Hey guys, welcome back into the show. Cancel this. CancelTheShow.com. Yeah, see, well, we weren't on air, but we were trying to give Eric some time to get in. We're like,
and he's still not here.
And he's still not here. We didn't feel right with that. Mr. Producer has it figured out. Lizzie Sparks, Tabitha Hassel, and Vic Faust. Glad you guys are joining us. February 21st, massive show coming up today as we welcome everybody back in. We're grateful everybody's joining us. Lots to get to today. By the way, Lizzie telling me and reminding me today is, and you know where Lizzie's mind is.
Yeah,
she's like,
my mind is on Fat Tuesday.
Yeah,
on Mardi Gras and partying. That's where it's at.
Mardi Gras partying.
Normally, my favorite day of the year is Mardi Gras.
What? Why?
I love.
You're like
Mardi
not a
Gras.
partier.
You know what? Because Mardi Gras has been ruined, like everything else. It was canceled by the folks moving into Soulard. It used to be back in the good days. You know, St. Louis. What do we have? The second largest Mardi Gras celebration.
We do.
Is it in the country?
In the country,
yeah, behind New Orleans. Yeah,
yep, I think so. Don't you like all the popcorn during this period of time and the king cake with the baby in it? I love all that. It's so fun.
What I like and what I used to like is the fact that on Mardi Gras here in St. Louis, people would take to the streets. We'd watch the parade. We'd fan out across Soulard and we'd bar hop. We'd go from one bar to the next and hit all the Irish places. Remember Mike and Min's back in the day?
That's called St. Patrick's Day.
And no,
I'm not a.
But people don't do that anymore because you know what? They came up with the idea of tents. Now everybody pays a couple $100 and they go to a tent.
Yeah, well,
and the tents for me are not fun. I like to go and walk from place to place.
Well,
there'd be hundreds of thousands of people in the streets.
Well, it happens.
No more.
There you go.
It's been canceled, Vic.
No, it's not.
Mardi Gras
was
canceled in Soulard, just like everything else.
Everything in life evolves. You have to evolve with the times to make the most of it.
Everything changes for the good.
Yeah, that's true. CancelTheShow.com. Once again, CancelTheShow.com. Share the show. We are rocking and rolling right now, a little bit late from what we normally do. But once again, we're a podcast. We can jump in whenever we want to. And that's kind of what we do here. Once again, share the show, share the show, share the show. CancelTheShow.com. Check out our website. I've had people ask, well, how can I listen to you guys? I hear so much hype about this show. It's easy. Go to CancelTheShow.com. If somebody asks, say CancelTheShow.com. CancelTheShow.com. Lizzie's in house regarding the going over comments, things of that nature, and we're going to get into it in just a second here. Coming up today, the 9 o'clock hour, busy hour. We're going to try to go with Chanel Rion again from OANN.
Third time's the charm.
That's right. She's going to be at her house today, though, right?
Yes, she's going to be on her laptop. Before, she was at the White House yesterday, and she really does feel like that she was more than shadow banned, like completely made to where we can't hear it. So she's going to be in her own place, on her own laptop. So it should all be good today.
I want to ask her about that too. Allegedly, she said that she has had wires cut before they came back to their OANN tent and the wires were cut.
Yeah, I've heard
that.
Not
yesterday, but
prior.
It's like, are you kidding me?
And multiple people
I want to ask her about that today too.
Other people messaged me too after the show. They may have messaged you guys as well. And they said what happened to her is not unusual. Because, when you're there at the White House, they know which tent is which, and that they do sometimes reduce speed to certain tents. I mean, it doesn't surprise me. I don't know if it surprised you, but it does not surprise me.
Well, Tabitha and I have learned all about shadow banning.
Oh, yes.
We'll leave it right there.
Yes, we have.
So Chanel at 9 o'clock. Coming up at 9:30, it'll be a really cool segment. Hopefully everything can work out well, but we plan on talking with Tosha Dove, owner of Estetica Medspa.
I can't
in the
wait.
St. Louis area. You can ask her some questions as well.
I want some new lips.
I did.
She wants new lips.
I do, so I can look.
Hey, you can still be a manly man and get some Botox. I'm sorry, you can. I've
Nothing
done
wrong
it.
with some Botox.
It's where I've gone a couple times. She's going to have a man in there to show what men can do. As well.
Yeah, because you don't really think about men getting Botox.
No, so you'll see it. You're going to watch it happen, and she'll walk around the place, kind of answer any questions anybody has.
So excited!
So that's coming up at 9:30 as well.
I'm going to be her number one client.
Yeah, she has a lot of massive, big name. If you need your face to look good, you go to Tasha.
I've never had
any
work done, so I am a clean slate on this face.
You come on.
I haven't.
You know, women lie about
no,
that.
I swear to you, I've never
Lizzie?
even had.
I haven't either.
facial.
I haven't had
What?
anything done. No, I haven't.
Stop.
I'm not saying I don't.
You guys are
need
telling me
it.
the guy in the room is the only guy that the person.
Yeah,
that's
but you
had
were like
something
on
done?
TV where everybody was looking at you.
Okay.
So I don't know.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I've never even had a facial. I've not had anything
Yes,
done.
and that's not
I
just
can't
that.
wait.
It's facials and
Yes,
Absolutely.
that's what I want
just
is a
self-care.
facial. Yes, I want a facial. That
I
feels
want so much
good.
more.
All right, so we have that coming up at 9:30 as well. As we welcome people back into the show, share the show. We're trying to have some fun, but at the same point in time, it's very difficult. When our city, we broadcast live out of the St. Louis area, but we're a national podcast, as you know. But this next story has already had national implications, national news being made. Heck, it's even going international. I saw one this morning because of what happened. You're talking about a 16-year-old girl in town for a volleyball tournament, one of the largest volleyball tournaments in the country. And she's walking home from a volleyball, or actually walking back to the hotel, 16-year-old. Her name is Janae Edmondson. Well, Janae's just walking on the sidewalk, walking back to the hotel. An accident happens. A car hits another car. The car hits her, pins her against a wall. She loses both legs. Both legs being amputated. Her life has changed forever. Thank God she's still alive. And we certainly give her our prayers and our thoughts from Cancel This, whatever that means, the most that we can give.
My daughter played volleyball there this weekend. And one of the things that we can do is that we were asked as a volleyball club, we could do it as a show, as listeners, is each person gives $10 to her fund because her medical.
I'll do it as soon as the show ends.
Yeah, me too. Because she'll get no restitution from the person that hit her because he has no insurance, no nothing, had cars with no plates, all kinds of stuff.
Now the city has a victims restitution, don't they? It's not very much.
I hope so.
I think it's like maybe $5,000.
Well, anything
and I don't
helps.
know if I don't know that covers vehicle accidents. It could just be violent crime.
Well, the problem gets worse besides her getting hurt. This isn't just some tragic, this could have been avoided. And why do you
Absolutely.
say this could have been avoided, Vic? Kim Gardner, yes, last week you oversaw a man getting out of prison who shouldn't have been there for 29 years. That was great. But we also have had now in your tenure, Kim, and Kim, I know her as a person. She's pleasant as a person, but I'm telling you, when it comes to the job, there's a lot left to be desired. I don't care if she's being reelected by people in St. Louis. Eventually, it's going to come back to you because St. Louis right now is being plastered all over the place as being another dangerous city, not just for the gun violence, but for criminals. We're talking about a man, 21-year-old Daniel Riley. And when our producer gets back, if we can pop up Daniel and Janae's pictures, we'll pop up Daniel first. Daniel, you know, his life is ruined too. And I don't know what he's dealt with. This is 21-year-old Daniel Riley. KSDK has the story. They did a fantastic job. KSDK went out. They were first on the story. Their investigative team is incredible. 21-year-old Daniel Riley. This blew my mind. He is the man. He was driving 20 miles per hour over. He ran a yield sign, smashed into another car, which hit Janae. Well, that man who caused the crash, Daniel, who we just showed you, he violated his GPS monitoring system more than 40 times before the crash. He shouldn't have even been on the streets.
Of course not.
Tell that to Janae. Tell that to Janae's family.
Poor Janae. Look at her. Look at her. She's so beautiful.
Can we show a picture of Janae now?
She's
up.
on there. Oh, God love her.
16-year-old Janae from Tennessee. Her life has changed. Well, the thing that's interesting now is the fact that Daniel has been charged with second-degree assault, armed criminal action, several misdemeanors. He was speeding. He didn't have a license. He was out on bond for previous robbery case. I mean, he violated an order to wear his GPS monitoring system as well 40 times.
40
But that's
40
common.
times.
We have to start thinking about this in the correct terms. This is extremely common. This isn't an unusual situation whatsoever, especially when it comes to traffic incidents in the city of St. Louis. You know, people who drive in the city, especially a lot of these gang types, you know what they do? They take red lights as simply a suggestion. You know, they
Yes.
don't obey traffic signals. I have seen more people downtown run through red lights, run through stop signs, driving as fast as they can. There have been times I've been down on Washington Avenue where these people take up all lanes going in one direction. They don't care about other people. They don't care about pedestrians. And you know what? I have sat by and I have watched SLMPD police officers standing there and watching these people go by, and it's out of their control. There's nothing
Totally out of their control.
they can do. And probably this guy's charges will probably be reduced. Probably nothing will happen. And you know who it hurts? It hurts the city of St. Louis, because guess what's happening now? People are not coming to the city for conventions. It's not happening.
We're losing that money right now.
Losing revenue.
Okay. Not only from a standpoint of violence that's happening, people don't want to come to St. Louis. And it normally takes 4, 5, 6 years to see the impact of what's happening, because that's when the contracts are done. I can't tell you, Lizzie sent it to our chat line last night. It was sent to me 4 or 5 more times last night and this morning. And it makes me sick. I'm trying to put myself in her shoes, her parents' shoes. You're just walking home, and somebody who was a criminal, Daniel is a criminal. He has been, you violate your GPS monitoring system 40 times. Why even have it?
And he's one of many. He's one of many running around the St. Louis City area right now in the exact same circumstances, and more lives will be lost. But you know what, Vic? People you and I know have canceled conventions in the city and have taken them to other states. What is the message as St. Louis City we're giving out to people? Don't come here, right? Don't come to the city of St. Louis.
And that's so sad. Our city has such great things in it, just like America Center and the Dome. I was there all weekend when this accident happened with my daughter, and it's a wonderful facility. I mean,
until you walk outside.
Well, good point. That's true. Until you walk outside.
She was at St. Charles and 11th Street. And I'm telling you what, I lived right off Washington Avenue for 4 years. And that area, there's a lot of violence right there by the St. Louis City Police headquarters off of 17th Street. I actually witnessed somebody being beaten in front of the police station. I called 911, and they're like, "Well, we'll send someone out." I'm like, "Just walk out your door." It's like right outside your door. And they did nothing, because that area is just insane. There's crime all over, up and down Washington Avenue, all around the convention center. And when I see people coming in from out of town going to the convention center, and I run into people not from St. Louis City, I'm like, you should not be out walking in the city. It's just not safe right now.
Well, and Mary on the chat line says, wonder if this happened to good old Kimmy's family. Maybe something would change. I'm not wishing it upon her.
What a great point.
I thought so
what
too.
What a great point. If something happens to you, then you'll think twice about it.
Correct. Correct.
Man, I just don't know what. This breaks my heart.
Absolutely.
Because we continue to hear about stories. I wish I had some of the facts in front of me regarding people who should be in prison committing crimes and hurting people when they shouldn't even have freedom.
Well, there are thousands of violent offenders right now out on the streets. That's why when Trump was president, and this is a point to you, Vic, that you might be able to go back and comment on. A friend of mine is the director of the United States Marshal Service, and he's in Washington, D.C. He sent me a press release about President Trump at the time, and he said, "Can you please talk about this on your show? Because we're sending this press release out to all the local news agencies, and no one will talk about it." And at that time, Trump had a violent offender task force he put together for specifically the city of St. Louis. And in this press release, he said that the violence in the city of St. Louis and the people walking the streets who are violent offenders, who belong in jail, who aren't being picked up, who aren't spending any time in jail, they're not being taken off the streets. He said, because Kim Gardner will not handle her job, I have to step in and do it for her. So he put together this multi-agency task force here in the city of St. Louis, and they were arresting thousands of these violent offenders, but no one would talk about it.
Well, the legal representation for St. Louis City and St. Louis County Police is Jane Duker.
Who I love.
Yeah,
Jane's
people know
great.
Jane from our radio show. Jane released just last week, and we talked about it here, that there are now 300 cases that have been dismissed with charges that have been brought from St. Louis City Police, not county, St. Louis City. That's it. 300 cases. And guess what? This could have been one of them.
I bet it was one of them.
And 16-year-old Janae is now living life without legs
Because she came to the city of St. Louis.
because she came to the city of St. Louis.
I bet, Lizzie, they never have that convention here again.
I wouldn't
no,
be
they
surprised.
will. They will. It's not a convention. It's a volleyball.
Well, but
tournament,
still, they could have that anywhere in the world. It doesn't, or anywhere in the country.
Well, they have.
It doesn't have to be.
It'll be interesting to follow. That's a good
Yes,
point.
it
Though.
will.
That is a good
They
point.
sign
That'll be interesting.
contracts, and it is. But that facility is an amazing facility, as Lizzie saw.
It's
It
gorgeous.
is.
To have. I don't want
Until
St.
you go
Louis to get
outside.
hurt.
Are they
I
going to
know.
have to tell people when you come to St. Louis, you can come to these
Maybe.
conferences? But most of the people stay at these hotels nearby.
And you're walking distance.
They're out
Yes,
walking. They have, and they don't know the dangers they're facing out walking.
Well, and there's a beautiful Marriott right there. It's
And
very-
that's where so many people stay.
But
Correct.
here's the thing: the tournament in years past, and why they've continued, Tabitha, as bad as St. Louis City has gotten with crime, they haven't had issues.
this
they
is the
haven't.
first issue. From
They
what I've
haven't
heard.
had issues.
But it's always just a matter of time,
This
isn't
is
it?
a 21-year-old who violated his GPS 40 times. Let's just try 10
40
times. 40 times. Not even wearing it.
Wow.
Robbery. And he's running the streets, driving without a license. There's no excuse for this. And the fact that you have 300 cases that you've dismissed, this is a massive story of epic proportion when it comes to the fact that, hey, whatever, we're just going to let things happen in St. Louis. Kim, I know you as a person. I believe Kim Gardner has a heart. I know she does. And that's going to blow people's mind because I've gotten to know her. But when it comes to the job, there's no excuse.
I've heard that too, that she actually is a nice person. She's just doing other people's bidding. I truly wonder, can she sleep? Did she sleep last night?
Yeah.
I'm sure she slept perfectly well because
Oh.
while this happened to Janae, and it's a terrible,
Mhm.
heartbreaking situation, it happens to someone in the city every night. It
Uh-huh.
happened to
Another-
be
So
Janae this
sad.
time.
Damn, you're on today, Tab.
every
Great
night.
point.
Yeah,
I mean,
you're
it
right,
is.
Tab.
It just sucks. I mean, it totally sucks. Once again, how do you find the link, Lizzie, to donate to Janae
I
Edmondson's
will get
fund?
that. I will get that for you. I know that we are taking the money and giving it to somebody on our club, and then they're doing it. But I will get that.
Is the volleyball tournament still going on, or was it just
no,
over
it
the
stopped.
weekend?
It was Saturday, Sunday, and Monday.
Okay.
And when I say thousands, if any of you have ever been there, it's every single inch of the entire dome and the entire America Center. So I can't even tell you how many that holds, but I mean, it's just wall to wall people. That would be a shame if St. Louis loses that.
They are already losing so many conferences. Vic and I have a mutual friend, and I can't get into, I don't want to violate his privacy. He held his conference at the convention center every year for at least the past 20 years because I have attended the conference. This year, first year, not here in St. Louis, it's in Arizona. And you know why? Because they don't want to deal with the crime. They don't want to have their employees come in from all over the country and take a chance that something could happen like this.
Well, I credit Christine Byers from KSDK. I've known her over the years. She is by far the best reporter in St. Louis. Christine did that story first, and then the other stations jumped on in the St. Louis area. I can only imagine how people in Tennessee feel. I have seen comments all over the place ripping the city of St. Louis again, because we already know, I mean, what St. Louis is and what it's become. It's not a place where you go to have a good time and feel 100% safe without having your head on a swivel. Yeah, you can come here and do things and enjoy yourself, and everything is fine. Most of the time, that is the case. I'll still go to the city. I told you recently.
I will too. But I know, but you and I know the city, and we know what to do and what not to do. These people, especially these kids coming in from other areas, you know, Vic, I ran into this guy one time here in St. Louis, and he was telling me that he was walking from Washington Avenue by the convention center all the way down to Broadway Oyster Bar, and he had two little kids with him. I'm like, that is the craziest thing I've ever heard. But people who come here, they don't know the city like we do. We know where to go, where not to go, and it is block to block. But people who come here, they have no idea.
I would love to hear a circuit attorney come on TV, ask us, ask affiliates, ask anybody, please come interview me. I'm owning this. I'm going to own this. But the sheer fact that St. Louis City residents want Kim Gardner in office, they want her to continue to do the job like she is doing, that's what they want. The problem is the fact it's only a matter of time, as Eric likes to say, before there is nothing left.
You know what's really good about you guys and conservatives? Seriously, this is a true story. Conservatives are really good about doing what you guys and us are doing. Not just us, but other people. About bitching about problems. We bitch. We are really good at identifying problems, bitching about them, letting the news cycle kind of meander away, and then it's forgotten. If it was if the shoe was flipped, there would be an organization marching down there. If it was a white prosecutor and black people,
you're right.
You'd have 50 people outside of a prosecutor's office. They would be raising Cain, and they were saying, "You are letting us get killed downtown St. Louis," or wherever they were at. That's the difference. What you're hearing today is the difference between conservative talk and liberals.
You're right.
You're
Liberals
100% right. Yes,
They-
we should be rallying all those volleyball parents to be down there beating on the door.
Yeah.
But we talk about it,
We
and
talk
we're not
good.
out there in the streets.
Oh, we make
You're
some damn
absolutely
good
right.
points. We make
We
some
do.
damn good points. I'm telling you what, if we could talk our way out of our problems, dude, we would be living in a utopia right now.
Absolutely.
But boy, listening to you guys, I get so frustrated.
Well, then
Here's-
why
here's
don't we
my
do
thing.
better, Eric?
But
Why
you
aren't
know
we
we
in
do
front
a-
of a
No,
Gardener's
here's
office?
We
what my
can't
hope
change
is.
it.
Here's my hope.
You don't live in St. Louis.
I know, but
and
here's
I
my
don't
hope.
either.
Here's my hope. I hope St. Louis goes to the extreme of crime. I hope that the volleyball team says, screw you. We don't want to come to a city where we need a damn manual of where we can go after hours and where we can't go after hours. We want our volleyball players to be able to walk outside, have a coffee at 9 o'clock if they want to, and be in complete safety. And then if something does go wrong, we want the mayor of that city to say, I'm sorry, we're taking care of the problem. Our crime scene is so. I want St.Louis to fail at this point.
Well, and people on the
I so
chat
want
line are
St. Louis to
completely
fail.
agreeing with you and is saying that if you would rally it, they would go to the streets.
Who cares?
Maybe that's
No,
maybe
it's
that's what you
overwhelming.
need to do,
It's
Eric.
overwhelming. Kim Gardner has got a stranglehold on not giving a damn about crime
Who
in St.
cares
Louis.
about her? Kevin Joseph on the comment line said this before you even came in, Eric.
Okay.
He said, "Why aren't we at Kim Gardner's office protesting
'Cause you're lazy.
every
Because
single
you're lazy.
day?"
Where does he live?
Kevin lives in the county.
You're lazy.
Kevin.
All of you lazy.
Kevin, you live in the county. You're not going to get county people to go to the city to do that.
But that doesn't
this
mean
is a city issue.
it is a city
And it's
issue.
not in your DNA makeup. It's
There
not
is
in your
people on
DNA
our
makeup.
chat line from
It's
the
not.
city, though, and they don't like this one bit, and they don't like Kim Gardner. Now, granted, they're probably conservative and doesn't buy into all of her stuff, but we have people right here on
No,
on the
they're gonna.
chat
She's
line.
gonna get re-voted in, and Tashara will get re-voted
Of-
in.
and they absolutely
And
will.
it's identity politics. And I am waiting. I'm sorry, St. Louis, you need to do a complete death to be built back up. I'm sorry, you do. You cannot put Band-Aids on cancers and expect them to heal. It's not going to happen. But I'm sorry, you can't put an ointment on a lesion that's going to be this malignant and expect this to survive. You got to start doing some major surgery. And that's one thing I love St. Louis.
I do too.
I'm back here in St. Louis because I love the damn place. I've lived in LA. I've lived in Anchorage, Alaska. I've lived in Seattle. I've lived in Kansas City, the rock town of the country. I've lived all over the country. And I came back to St. Louis because this is where my family is. I wanted to succeed.
Absolutely.
But after listening to you guys on air, I'm like, man, St. Louis, you just need to go through the entire process and reboot.
This has been
might not ever happen.
ongoing. It'll never happen. It's only going to get worse.
Yes.
It's not going to get better because there's nothing any of us can do to change things. And the people who would like to change things, guess what? They're not getting very far in the city.
And it's not just St.
Unfortunately.
Louis.
Yeah,
It's not
and
just-
guess what?
It's not just
I
St.
can't.
It's every city is spiraling, like Jay says. Every single liberal leadership is spiraling out of control.
If you're a liberal, tell us we're wrong. Please get a liberal on. Tell us.
They won't
Tell
talk
us-
about it. They
Tell us how because you quiet up.
Yeah.
Even the
They
liberals
sure
on
do.
this show, they quiet up because they know Kim Gardner has not done a good job as circuit attorney. Once that's not Eric saying that, that's Vic saying it. She is not. And it doesn't matter if she does a good job or not because she has a base that will go out and vote for her in the predominant of 28%. So this is sad. It's one of those things that you feel helpless. Yeah, there's some things you might be able to do, but it's not going to change, and it's not going to change for a long time. And yes, we're speaking from emotion because a 16-year-old girl lost her lives in the city of St. Louis from Tennessee, and all she was doing was walking back to a hotel, and it all could have been avoided because 21-year-old Daniel Riley should have been in prison.
I'll tell you what,
End
and
of
St. Louis
story.
has gotten worse.
And it's about crime. It's a crime issue.
And who was it? Was it Tabitha that said it? That the cops will just watch things happen. And like,
as far as people running through red lights and not obeying the traffic laws in the city, absolutely. I saw it with my own eyes.
I saw it about
and they're overwhelmed. I get
want
it.
to say 7 years ago, back in St. Louis, we used to play in the club. I don't know if you guys ever been to the Dubliner. You guys remember the Dubliner?
Yeah, of course.
Many times.
We used to play. There was a punk rock show. It was awesome. It was great. And we would go outside on break and just hang out and talk to people. And one night we saw a crime happen. We literally saw a couple of kids pull open a door to a business down the street, and a couple of cops, St. Louis police, going, "Oh, they're faster than us. We ain't gonna get them. We'll go down there after a while." I'm serious,
because that's all they can do, Eric.
And you know what the time period was? It was during the whole Michael Brown thing, and that's when all of this garbage happened. It was the shock and awe of knowing how to coagulate together and move together as groups. And that's what happened to St. Louis. St. Louis was a fairly safe town.
Absolutely.
Maybe 6-7 years ago.
No, it was not.
Oh, sure it was.
I lived downtown 6 or 7 years ago. It was not safe by any means.
Well, it's a lot unsafer now.
It was safer. It is really escalated.
It was out of control then, but the problem was people just didn't report on it. As a matter of fact, our homicide rate and the crime rate is down.
Well,
this past year.
1993 was the year that we just broke 2 years ago. It was the amount of homicides, but now there's more kinds of crimes happening. You didn't have the vehicle thefts that you have now. You didn't have the robberies.
Well, crime has
changed
have
now on top of all of it. But it's something that, I mean, we can continue to go on and on and on about, but it's just sad. Once again, you can donate $10 to Janae Edmondson's fund. You can look it up. You'll find it. If we get some of that, Lizzie is in studio. She'll put that on the chat line for us.
Did you hear that yesterday? And this kind of segues into what we're talking about now, that Margie Taylor Greene once said red states and blue states should have a divorce. Did you guys hear that?
I saw that. Yeah.
What'd you think about that?
I don't agree with it.
Maybe not on paper, but it seems like that's what's happening already, don't you think?
Well, and these days, I don't know how you could be married to somebody with such polar opposite beliefs, because it's now not politics, it's ideology.
And I want to talk to Chanel Rion, who we have from OANN, coming up at 9:00 about that. I think that's a great question for
it's
her.
An abstract thought that she had.
But
and
Eric,
it's something that we talked about 2 years ago. It's like, there's not going to be a civil war.
No,
I think
there will be a civil war.
Tabitha's wrong.
There will be a civil war.
Eric, you talked about this 3 years ago.
Yeah, about 3 years ago.
You talked about it. You brought it up.
And I thought, man, this is where people start to go, this country's changed. I'm going to Palm Springs.
But things may change now, Eric, because I'll tell you what, when there's a bigger situation that goes on, let's say World War III, that tends to unite citizens.
And it can.
Oh, yeah, but that's foreign policy stuff. That's not.
Yeah, but it will. But when you're
at a volleyball show.
No, but when your kids collectively as a country, Democrat or Republican, your kids are being sent off to war, it does tend to unite people.
But here's the other thing that we haven't even got, nobody's talking about it nationally, and it really frustrates me. Another frustrating story, and we got to get into it because we're going to be we'll take a break in about 10 minutes before we have Chanel on, is the fact that a story that's going totally under the radar. Do you remember how United States Supreme Court Justice Brett Kavanaugh was run through the ringer? He was lied about. He was put on trial. He didn't do anything wrong except have an amazing career to get nominated to become a justice. It became national news for a long time. This guy's horrible. This guy's that. One side of the story, up and down and all around. And then a letter surfaced in 2018 stating that one of the three accusers was lying. And then we have another situation coming out right now where people go, okay, it's kind of like the news cycle, as Eric talked about. It's kind of gone through. Tabitha, get us up to speed, please. The whole Kavanaugh situation. What happened yesterday now that we see?
Okay, I can't imagine this would surprise anyone. A second accuser has come forward.
What?
Well, actually, a document was revealed that kind of outed this.
This was one of the previous accusers.
There were three accusers of Kavanaugh. Remember Justice Kavanaugh?
Yeah.
And remember that whole drawn-out trial that we all had to witness?
You mean the hearings?
The hearings. And we had to watch them come after him, saying, oh, he raped this woman. Then, two other people came forward. One of the Jane Does, who is one of the people who said Kavanaugh raped her, has now recanted and said, it was a lie. And not only was it a lie,
What?
but she never even met Kavanaugh, never even met the
Oh
guy.
my God.
And they uncovered a letter that shows, remember Kamala Harris, that old Cammie at the time, being right there, you know, at the hearings?
She led the hearings.
She did. And she knew all along, as revealed by this letter dated in 2018, this letter's just come to surface, is that she knew all along that it was a lie, and she continued to allow this to happen. And Ford Blasey, who was the main accuser at the time, she also had recanted and said it was a lie. But, you know, nobody wants to talk about this. So that's 2 of the 3 accusers. I think we all knew from day one that it was a lie, that all of it was a lie. But now we know that 2 people have recanted their stories, one of them having never even met.
Well, Blasey Ford always seemed like she got drug out of her house to do this.
She was so confused. She had no details.
I know. She did not look like she was like, where am I? I don't even know where I'm.
And Lizzie and I can attest to this. As a woman, if you're raped, guess what? You would probably, I've never been raped, thank God. But I would think that if I were, I would remember every single detail, and I would continue to remember it and relive it. And I would not be so vague.
Yeah.
She was so vague. She didn't remember anything.
Yeah.
And it wouldn't,
what's the backlash?
it wouldn't matter if it
like
was 20 or 30 years.
What's the backlash to something?
Well,
like
she's facing criminal charges now.
Ooh.
Yes.
Through
Now,
what?
not Ford Blasey, but this third person is.
I didn't
why
think she's facing. I thought it was recommended that.
It's recommended that she face
no
criminal
charges have been brought up, and I'll be shocked if charges are brought up.
I agree with you, Vic, and it's so sad.
There won't
You're
be
so
charges.
right. There won't
be, because in this day and age, you can say what you want and accuse somebody, especially when it comes to that movement with no proof. Oh yeah, he did this, and then boom, because it's a political hit job.
It's so sad,
and you're not going to hear about it on your news stations. You're not going to hear about it on the national news. I mean, Fox News should be all over this. Is Fox News all over it?
No, not at all.
No, of course,
and they won't be, and no one will be. If we didn't talk about this right now, I doubt people would even hear about it. Period. 2 accusers out of 3 after they dragged that man through the mud to find out it was never true. Being accused, I'm sure you guys understand this, as men, being accused of rape is a very serious charge.
I think you throw the book at him. I mean, if I'm a Supreme Court justice, and if gender means nothing, if there's no chivalry anymore, if I'm the Supreme Court justice, I'm like, you came at me so hard, you destroyed my reputation. My wife is traumatized. I kind of want you to go to jail for 20 years. Can you please throw the book at her? I think he should have the opportunity to weigh in on that thing.
And not only did Kavanaugh have to go with this, God bless that man. Then DC police did not stop picketers, protesters, even rioters in some cases from doing their protest at his house, which is illegal in this country.
I remember that.
All because they didn't like one of the laws that he was trying to pass. And it was all about, quote, in his opinion, pro-life issue. People were allowed to threaten murder on him in his front yard and stay there for days. I think there were some people weeks. There may still people be there now. And that's not supposed to happen. Police, they didn't remove him. They didn't remove anybody.
Well, it's because
Kavanaugh,
it's peaceful protest, Vic. It's under that. See, here's the deal.
No, but Vic, you're not allowed to protest
Vic.
a Supreme Court justice.
It's peaceful. Yeah. You don't understand the system these people are setting up. You don't understand what's going on here. A bottle through a 7-Eleven downtown St. Louis is considered a peaceful protest. There's no one injured. It's just a bottle going through here. I need to let you know how aggrieved I am. Hey, I'm just a kid at the end of a street. I don't like the fact that you're going to put a Supreme Court justice in that likes abortion. I'm aggrieved. This is a peaceful. It's an umbrella, and if the media can say it's a peaceful protest, well, the word peaceful is offsetting, isn't it? It's not a protest. It's a peaceful protest.
Well, they call any assembly a protest.
It's like a picnic.
But we have the right, a constitutional right, to assemble, to peacefully assemble, protest or not, peacefully assemble. But we all know that if it were us conservatives, and let's say we were in front of Pelosi's house or in front of Cammie's house or Obama's house, guess what? We would be sitting in prison right now. But they go to Kavanaugh's house, completely legal. He had to move his
Well, he's
family
doxxed.
to another location.
You're not supposed to know those houses, are you? I don't.
No, I
mean,
don't think you're supposed to know those
am I
houses.
supposed to know
And he
where
was
Kavanaugh's
doxxed.
house
People
is or
released-
Mitch McConnell? Am I supposed to know that?
People
No.
I feel
released
like
the name
that's
of
a
his
little
address.
But
unsafe.
there's just, you're not going to hear those national headlines with Brett Kavanaugh.
No.
2 of the 3 accusers, as Tabitha was talking about right now, admitting that they were not telling the truth. They took oaths.
Drug that man through the
All
mud.
because he wanted to become a Supreme Court justice, which, by the way, for all intents and purposes, he's been fantastic at
Yes,
the
he
job.
has.
And all because of that. And does he ever get any recourse for the way that he was treated and continue to
No.
be treated
Absolutely
and
not.
being looked and being called a rapist when 2 of the 3 now said that they were lying?
Is
And you
it
know what? If 2
petty?
of the 3 said that they lied, you know what the third one probably
3
is as well.
accusations of rape against this man because he wanted to sit on the Supreme Court. Kamala Harris, knowing full well that the woman who was Jane, I believe she was Jane Doe number 2, wrote a letter directly to Kamala Harris and said, "Hey, I never wrote that confession. Someone else wrote it. I read it, and I just wanted the attention at the time."
Is it make Kavanaugh petty if he drafts 1, 2, 3, 4 civil lawsuits for millions and millions of dollars against everyone, including Kamala Harris?
Yeah, the Kamala Harris won't get anywhere.
Why?
The other,
Nothing will happen.
Why? If she is perpetrating, or if she's elongating this lie and she knows about
Eric,
it.
in the United States of America,
Well,
there are only few there not every case do you get justice in.
Look at Hillary Clinton, for gosh sakes. We had President Trump who vowed to go after her, never spent a day in jail. So it is, let's see here. It is the Senate Judiciary Committee Chairman Chuck Grassley, by the way, who is potentially seeking to charge this Jane Doe number
Well, it should be
2.
the DOJ. Why isn't the blind justice coming in here and saying, "Yeah, this is perjury on a national level"? We're throwing the book at you. Question mark.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It should be
I mean, seriously.
that way. But yet Brett Kavanaugh is there. And just because national news won't cover it or local news won't cover it, we're for sure going to cover it because that was a international story for far too long with zero evidence. And you're just listening to somebody's accusations as they tried to take a man down because they didn't want him to have success. He was having success. They were mad at him and they went after him.
And to accuse someone of rape is that's a lower than low for somebody to make that type of accusation.
Oh no!
That can-
no,
I
this
mean,
was
that can ruin
remember,
someone's
who was
life.
Who was it back in the 90s?
Or
It was someone that
worse.
said the ends justify the means. Don't ever let a crisis go to waste. Who was that? Was that Rahm Emanuel? I can't remember who it was.
I can't remember who
But
it was.
that's
I
the
do
dem-
remember hearing it.
That's the Democratic playbook. That's the Democratic
It is the
playbook.
Democratic
The
playbook, you're
ends
right.
justify the means. Never let a crisis go to waste. That was the instance they were living in right there.
They lie, cheat, and steal to get their way. But we as conservatives, we're always in the losing position because we're not willing to make these accusations.
I wish Democrats are liars, man. I'm not.
Well, they were in this case.
Dude, I'm not
100%.
playing. They are
In
they
many
are-
cases,
They are
in my opinion.
the Biden administration lies. These activists lie. There's nothing transparent about Democrats. And I'm saying that not as I'm just on this. I'm just literally in the peanut gallery over here, just watching the game go on. And I'm like, damn, one of their tools is they lie through their teeth about everything.
And they know
Everything.
We know
Yeah.
they're lying and
Yeah.
they don't care.
And then Republicans have to kind of play the game like straight up, like, I don't know what they're talking about, but that's actually not true at all. you
Look
know?
what happened with Trump. They committed treason. That was literally treason against Trump
Great
with a
point.
Steele dossier,
Yeah.
and nothing has happened. Those people,
Russia.
Yes.
they should be strung in the center square, but nope, doesn't happen.
And that's what we do here on Cancel the Show, canceltheshow.com. We try to bring you the stories, the talk, the information, the things that just aren't getting out there. We try to cover every story we possibly can. It's all about you, the viewers, the listeners to our podcast, the live show, as you know, based out of the St. Louis area, Monday through Friday, 8 to 10 a.m. Central, but you can watch us anytime you want in our library, our podcast library with that evergreen content, cancelthisshow.com. All right, we're going to take a quick break, but we love it when you guys support our advertisers, and more are on the way. When you want something, when you need something that any of them are providing, those services, those products, please consider them because they support canceltheshow.com. One of them it's going to be coming up at 9:30. Tosha Dove, live from her facility. Eric, we're going to see a man get some facial work done live this morning.
Facial work done.
Yeah.
That's going to be really
9:30
interesting.
at arguably the best,
man getting facial
arguably the
work.
best med spa in the St. Louis area, Estetica.
I'm all right. I feel like I need a set.
They have questions. They do question and answers for people all over the world, right there through their telehealth.
What does a guy need face
then
work for, though?
I'll
man?
explain it later.
Oh,
we'll
Eric,
talk about
how could
it.
you ask
I mean,
such
And
look at
then
my face.
we'll take a quick break here.
Yeah, well,
but
your
then we
face is
come right
perfect,
back.
Eric.
Not everybody can have a centerfold face like you and body. Chanel.
You were looking in the mirror, weren't you?
Chanel Rion. And God darn it, people like you. Hey, we're going to take a quick break. Literally, it's like 2-minute break. Chanel Rion from OANN, OA America's News Network. She's coming up next. We got to get out of here really quick to get to it. Chanel Rion from her personal studio. Can't wait to talk to her. So much to talk about. Canceltheshow.com. Mystery producer Lizzie Sparks, Eric Johnson, Tabitha Hassel. I'm Vic Faust, back right after this.
Hey guys, this is Dr. Mahesh Bhagway. I'm an orthopedic surgeon here in St. Louis for over the last 20 years. I went to Washington University. I got my medical degree at St. Louis University. From local athletes to injured workers and even Cardinal baseball players, I've treated them all. Our practice strives to personalize care with every new patient being seen by me. To find me, contact my staff at drbagwe.com, DRBAGWE.com. Hopefully you don't need me, but if you do, you can find me now.
You've waited, and now it's here. The unveiling of the latest Carroll House lifestyle collections. I'm Brooke with my sister Amy, inviting you to see 3 football fields of the latest styles.
Our new lifestyle collections are premium quality furniture made exclusively for us and available only at Carroll House.
The attention to detail is unmatched, and so is the value, nearly half the price of a typical gallery store.
Plus, get free financing, delivery, and in-home design. Carroll House, because you like nice things.
White Glove Exotic Services is St. Louis's first concierge vehicle service center. Alex David's team is passionate, certified technicians. They have industry-leading tools and equipment. They do it all. They pick up and deliver your car hands-free. Plus, they have elite detailing service, customized PPF wraps and tinting, and inspection and titling assistance. White Glove also specializes in logistics and storing options, vehicle listings, and consignment. White Glove Exotic Services. Check them out at cancelthisshow.com. Kathy Obig Strick, owner of Experience Real Estate Partners with eXp, has been one of St. Louis, Missouri's highest selling groups for 26 years running. In that time, Kathy and her team have successfully assisted an incredible 4,000 families. So if you're thinking about buying, building, or selling, be sure to put Kathy's group and their experience to work for you, and you can expect to be moved. Just give her a call at 314-276-SOLD. That's 314-276-7653, or find her online at experience-re.com. Winty's in the Chesterfield Valley, if you don't know, is a family-owned business that has been around since 1994, serving some of the best chicken wings in town, no joke. Also known for their fresh burgers, pizza, and incredible smoked meat. Top-notch happy hour specials are included, plus live music every Friday and Saturday. Oh yeah, you can also enjoy their spacious heated covered patio. It's Winty's in the Chesterfield Valley, 18,000 Chesterfield Airport Road. Thanks, Tab. Hey, guys, welcome back into the show. It's cancelthisshow.com. Cancelthisshow.com. We've got our mystery producer in. Scotty's on some vacation. Eric Johnson in. Lizzie Sparks handling all of our comment lines today. Tabitha Hassel. I'm Vic Faust. Had a big first hour. We appreciate everybody jumping in with their comments, sharing the show. Cancelthisshow.com. Continue to share the show. Like all the platforms. Subscribe to the platforms. It helps us as we continue to push this show everywhere we go. Right now, we are awaiting Chanel Rion from OANN. She's going to be jumping in to talk about the White House, what's happening behind the scenes at the White House, what's happening behind the scenes in D.C. as well. So, mystery producer, I'm just going to call you MP. When we get when
MP.
when
It's
she
very
joins
military.
us, please let me know or just patch her in. MP.
Military producer.
I like
I can't
that.
wait till her real name can be unveiled someday.
Yeah, at some point.
Because
It
there are
makes it
so
a
many
little
things
easier.
I would like to talk to her about.
It makes
You
it
can talk
She's
to her,
great.
but you got to address her as MP.
Yes.
There you go.
Well, these are personal things.
Personal things.
Personal accomplishments.
yeah, so we'll go ahead with that situation as well. A couple other things that were going on that were just bizarre that we've been talking about. Tabitha, I know you wanted to jump in on this from a Russia standpoint, because we do talk about Russia, Ukraine. I'm not calling it World War III. You may say we're already in a war, but
Zelensky said we're already in a war.
Vladimir Putin him, not America. He did not say
No,
America.
yesterday Zelensky
He did not say
said-
America's
Yes,
in a
he
war.
did.
No, he didn't.
Yes, he did. Yesterday, if you listen to the speech from Zelensky,
Where's the quote where
this
he
was
says
right
America
after-
is in the war?
It was on Tucker Carlson last night. This is right after we pledged another $500 million to Ukraine. He was on there giving his little spiel. Now, to your credit, I looked it up. Back on March 22nd of 2022, Zelensky also said then that we, the United States, the West, are in a World War III with Russia.
I never heard him say that America
But yeah,
was in a war.
he reiterated that yesterday.
He said
and
America is in a
he
war.
said, well, he said the United.
No, he didn't.
He said the U.S.
I listened to
He said it was World War III. I'm telling you, it was on Tucker Carlson last night.
Well, I'll tell you what, whatever the deal is,
Someone sent me the video.
whatever the deal is, this is like the Cardinals at Jupiter, Missouri. The teams are forming. I don't know if you guys have
Jupiter, Missouri?
Jupiter, Florida. This is like the Cardinals getting ready for the season. You have China trying to latch onto Russia. When Russia and China latch together, you're going to see this nice little trifecta of North Korea and China and Russia latching together. If
They've already latched together. That's
Yeah,
they
they
make
are.
up.
well, I'm
bricks
talking about
together.
very publicly.
You can thank the Biden administration
The
for that,
C
for
in
poking
bricks.
Russia. You know, there was a treaty, and they've talked. The only way that Ukraine-Russian situation ends is at the table. It's not going to end in the battlefield. It's going to end with some sort of negotiations.
Yeah.
But if you look at the fine print, the Biden administration doesn't want one of those things. We want to, you know what we do? We want to try to drain Russia. At least that's what it looked like.
The only
And we're not draining Russia. We pushed Russia closer to China. And they're, hey, you know what? You're not such a bad friend.
don't fool yourself.
Let's go take down the bully of the United States.
Definitely, that's the conversation being had. No doubt. You're seeing some of the most.
Let's attack that dollar.
Dude, look, I know I slam on Trump, and I would like to see a DeSantis new
You don't
presidency.
slam on Trump.
I don't slam on him, but I just definitely don't want the tweeting anymore. But if this was Trump in office and there was a damn balloon over the United States from China, we would have brought that thing down with a lasso, and we would have put that in our parades, and we would have said, this is what China uses. It would have been such a different environment here if it was Trump. And if it was Trump and Russia would have never have gone over that Ukrainian border. Oh my God. It would have been brutal if he would have gone over that border. So the only thing that we have to look forward to, can we finish the race, Lizzie? Is there enough gas in the engines for this plane to get to the runway before Biden is out of office?
That
Seriously,
scares me.
that's
I'm
the only
not
thing.
sure.
I'm like, you have no more engine and you have about 4 miles to get to that runway. And on paper, you shouldn't make it. I'm just hoping that this country and this world, to be quite honest with you.
I hope there's enough men and women in the military that haven't gone woke and that they're still proud badasses. We have to have that.
It's a good story. Yeah, no doubt.
I believe there are.
Well, I believe there's some great military members, but here's what a problem that we're going to face. China, the C in BRICS stands for China. China and Russia are already aligned, and I can promise you, if it comes down to it, so far China has said that they're going to be neutral in this situation. But we know that's probably going to change very quickly because we already had Biden, what was it, last week, who mentioned that, hey, we are going to be at war with China probably by 2025. That's a big problem.
It is a big problem. We've got our own problems at the White House. We've got our own problems in D.C. We do have a problem solver in studio, Eric Johnson. We've also got a problem solver on the ground in D.C. Her name is Chanel Rion. She's from OANN. She joins us this morning. Chanel, thanks for kicking off our 9 o'clock hour this morning.
Yes.
You have a lot of fans, people glad to see you, glad to talk to you this morning. Let's just jump right into this right now because there's always so much to cover with you. Have you ever seen a more inept administration than what we're seeing right now in the White House?
That's the problem is every single day.
All right, we're losing Chanel again. We're
Uh,
convinced she's
definition-
shadow banned.
definition playing itself out. Can you guys, let's see, I've got
Yeah, we hear you. It was just kind of in and out. I'm sorry. We were trying to give it a shot because we love you so much.
Yes, we do. Go over to the Biden administration and say, hey, take my shadow ban off me, please.
Yeah, it's what we had her and now we don't have her. Yeah, it happens. It happens from that standpoint. So we're going to continue. Chanel can hear us. Chanel's working with our producer. I don't know if there's anything that we can do on our end, but we're certainly going to try. And we appreciate our viewers and our listeners' patience when we try to do that. I know.
So many
Oh my
questions
God,
for
the
her.
sound, not a coincidence. I see you guys. I see your comments. And by the way, Chanel has the best equipment that you can get.
Yeah, that's bizarre.
There is no other equipment that you can get besides the best stuff that she has. So we'll try. We'll do our best.
Maybe
there.
it's us. Maybe the government is
Well, we
shadow
haven't-
banning us.
We have another guest coming up. So if it happens again, then I think we're going to have to say it's something in our internet signal.
Interesting.
But we have the best internet that you can
We
have.
do.
Yeah, there
But
is no,
something weird is
there is
going on
no
here.
better stuff
Maybe
than what our fiber is. than
We're
what we
being
have.
attacked. They're
That
trying to
wouldn't surprise me.
shut us down and cancel us.
And we'll do our best if we can get her on the phone too. I don't know.
Man,
We'll have to.
we might
we'll
just have to
wait
make a
and
trip
see.
out there to Washington, D.C.
Let's
to talk
go.
to her.
Well,
Eric.
that would be
Because
nice
I have
if-
AON pulled up right now, and some of the stories that are on there, man, it's kind of like, is this real?
It's such a fantastic news organization. I love America Online News. I love Newsmax. I love Chanel. We will have to work something out. She is just fantastic. Her husband, Cortland Sykes, is an amazing guy as well.
He is. He works for Homeland Security.
Oh, geez.
And sometime we'll have to have him on too, vying that, our internet works with them. But he has stories that are completely different from when he worked for Donald Trump and now what's going on.
Yeah.
Is there any way just to get her on the phone with like the old school? Like
No,
when you used to
well, there's a
pick the
lot of
phone
things
off
that
the
we've
wall
talked.
and-
Well, we have to wait, Eric. We'll wait and see.
Really? Okay.
We'll see how that situation goes. We were trying to make that work to get her on because she went through the trouble of doing that. So if we can, we will definitely do that. The other situation that's all of a sudden happened is you've got now Pete Buttigieg, the transportation secretary, now trying to blame the toxic train derailment on Republicans. I mean, you can't. No, I'm not kidding.
Liars.
He's
Yes, see,
pointing the
again.
finger
That, like,
at the
choked me.
rail industry for what's happened,
They're liars.
and he's
Just from now on, here's how I feel. You just, when these people say stupid ass crap, you just look at them and go, liar. There's nothing I can do about it. You're just a liar. The train derailment happened. It's a train. It got off the tracks. It went down in the middle of a Ohio City, a county. And your job, Pete, is to fix it, not
Are
to
you
blame
saying
anybody.
there was no intent?
We don't care.
There's certainly no intent on the Republican side. Was there intent on the Democrat
you do
side?
postmortems of crises after the crisis
Is
is
it just
over.
happened to be that in Ohio they are the second largest producer of chicken eggs, something we know they desperately don't want us to have
Why don't
because
you-
they want
I-
us to
what-
use their cellular based eggs,
Well,
not real chicken eggs.
I want to stay on point, but can I back
Well,
up
that is
for
on
just? Can I
point.
just back up for 1 second, Vic? What the hell does that mean? Why does the United States does not want us to have chicken eggs?
Well,
Just why? I'm
They
not,
don't
I'm
want
not
us
saying
to
you're
have-
wrong.
they
I just-
don't-
You know what I
because
heard?
they
I
don't
don't
want us
know
to have
anything.
our own food.
That chicken eggs, supposedly, this is just something I read, fights COVID. Now that could be just a
What?
made up story, but
I've
I've
not
seen
heard that.
several stories that
I've never heard that one. That's awesome.
Hold on, Vic.
I'm not saying
Vic,
it's true. I
a
just read it
second,
in a
Just a
couple-
second. Just a second. I need to get.
They
something
don't want us
straight.
to be self sufficient, Eric. That's what it comes down to.
So there's a train from Norfolk Northern or whatever. It's derailed on purpose in the middle of this little county. And it's because the government doesn't want us to have eggs.
I'm not saying that. I think that there's a lot of things that are going on that could be a part of the problem. And that's one of the things that has been mentioned to me. The other thing would be natural resources, because when there is a catastrophe like this, the government can come in and confiscate the land to say, oh, we have to clean it up. Now it's ours. They buy everybody out, just like they did here in Missouri and Times Beach. It happens. And then the next thing you know, guess what? They are looking at the natural resources and mining. And I'm not saying any of these things are true. It could just have been an accident, a train derailment. End of
There's
story.
a lot of truths out there, and there's a lot of bull crap. Like, I don't think that it was derailed on purpose. It's kind of like eating rice with rat hair in it. Like, you know what I mean?
It's like yummy. Come on.
Well, that's what they used to do in Vietnam.
Well, we've got
that's what they used to do in Vietnam with the prisoners. Yeah, and that's kind of what this.
Yum.
That's what
that's called fiber.
That's kind of like what we're living in right now.
Well, let's get some sweet stuff with Chanel. Chanel Rion back on the phone with us from OANN. Hey, Chanel, I was asking you when you were joining us via TV, and I'm not kidding you, Chanel. We're convinced, and our viewers and listeners are convinced that something's going on with you, just like we were told before. Is it true that you came out to your tent at the White House before and cords were cut? Okay, we don't have her. That's fine. We'll try another day. Don't worry about it, MP, mystery producer. We've spent enough time there. Anyway,
I would like to know the answer to that question.
Well, no, I just want to finish my thought is in Vietnam, the Viet Cong used to serve our service members rice to keep them alive, food. But they would sprinkle in bad things that it's hard to separate.
Fiber.
Yeah. It's hard to separate, Lizzie, right? You see what I'm saying? It's like if you want to eat the good stuff, you got to go through the bad. That's what I feel like our society is right now. Train derailment, government to get rid of eggs is one of those little rat hairs. It's like, I got to pull that out. That's probably not true, but maybe it is. Who knows,
there has to be a reason. And a couple people on the chat line said they too believe that's why they're doing that to the eggs, is that the eggs fight COVID.
And that could be. But see, I think COVID these days is such a non-issue. And I've seen people saying that too, but COVID's done. It's gone. I mean, COVID has been reduced to a minor cold these days.
Yeah.
So I don't know what the answer is.
It wasn't exactly like this train derailed and let corn all over the place. It was the most toxic, noxious fume. And on top of that, here's one thing I will say. Who was the moron that put all of this stuff in a burn pit right by the train and blew it up so that it would spread ashes?
At the time, that's what they thought was the best. The reasoning behind that is they say that they were following their hazardous training, and that they were worried there was going to be an explosion. They thought the explosion would be far worse, so they were going to do a controlled burn. Hindsight, looking back, that was a really bad idea, apparently.
Yeah, really bad idea.
But I think the problem I think there was so many problems even before they started this burn. It just made it worse.
Well, that's Pete Buttigieg, ladies and gentlemen. It is the Republicans' fault.
But he's never going to take responsibility, just like Biden hasn't taken responsibility, just like Kamala hasn't taken responsibility for the inflation, for the illegal immigration, for all of the crap that's going on in this country. Nobody is taking responsibility, and they continue to do it.
And I'm glad Sally pointed this out. Sally Tabor said, we need to be worried about Joe Obama giving our sovereignty to the WHO, because that's exactly
absolutely
what has happened. The World Health Organization will now potentially control our pandemic response.
Okay, that's been rumored and talked about as if the WHO taking that over. But at the same point in time, the WHO, also had their own issues with the CDC. They were not always in alignment. The WHO was giving out advice that was, let's just say, less obstructive to your everyday life than the CDC was giving out. So does that continue on? Because if you looked at what was happening during the pandemic, most people would have rather followed what the WHO was saying, at least listened to these shows and watched these shows.
I agree with you.
Than what the CDC was saying. They were actually going at each other.
Yeah, because the WHO, they're the ones who potentially are going to prosecute a couple of these doctors in India who claimed that COVID was not cured by the I word. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
it does.
It absolutely does.
But I don't trust the WHO. I don't trust the CDC. I don't want the WHO making decisions for me, because I still see them as a completely irrelevant communist faction that we don't want. And we have the Biosecurity Act now. I mean, we don't want any of this.
That's why you don't want balloons flying over your country. How much does it take to drop a little vial from 60,000 feet right in the middle of Des Moines, Iowa, and to spread something that this country doesn't really want. Why don't we just use that as a reason to blow these things out of the sky? How about that? Question mark.
I'm in. Count me in.
Okay.
I'll
run for president next year.
No, the other issue going on now, more than 24 organizations now urging Biden to, quote, abandon plans to allow biological males to compete in women's sports and use the same locker rooms.
Say that one more time.
More than 24 organizations are urging the Biden administration to, quote, abandon plans, drop them, to allow biological males to compete in women's sports and use the same locker rooms. However,
I can't even believe we're talking
a
about
letter to the Secretary of
my
Education,
God.
Cardona, Tuesday,
Yes.
organized by the Defense of Freedom Institute for Policy Studies.
Here we go.
They said that the Biden administration's additional anticipated regulations will unfairly penalize female athletes. So there are groups, massive
What?
groups,
Hmm.
trying to stop Biden and his administration from allowing people who were born as males who said that they're females now to be able to compete with the females, because it's starting to become more of a bigger issue. Even former NFL or Marcellus Wiley, who was on ESPN, but you won't find him on ESPN anymore because he finally started to spoke out this week about how unfair it is. And it's a topic we've addressed here several times. There are also underlying issues in the St. Louis area. There was a letter put out, and the St. Louis County meeting tomorrow night might be pretty feisty and packed.
This is so easy
because
to
you
fix.
have Sam Page, his county executive staff, is now ensuring that they're going to do whatever it takes to bring gender equality and gender health to St. Louis County. I'm still trying to figure out exactly what that means.
Well, they gender affirming, and what that means is they're going to promote puberty blockers. They're going to provide psychological counseling to kids. See, adults can do whatever they want to do. When it comes to the kids, do not mess with the kids. And look, as females, women fought so hard to participate in sports. Remember the first woman who ran the Boston Marathon? She was arrested. Women fought so hard to play in sports.
Yeah.
And now all of a sudden, and beauty pageants, look at beauty pageants. Now all of a sudden men can join female sports and win, because guess what? I don't care if you call yourself an innie or an outie. If you are an outie and you call yourself an innie, your physiological body is still an outie, and your muscle structure is different. Your endurance is different. Men should not be able to should not be able
So
to
here's the deal.
compete in female sports.
If women want to compete with men, are we going to get rid of the white tees?
The what?
The white tees are the women
for golf.
Are the
We
women?
can't talk-
right. Yeah.
I mean, that's a handicap, right? If a man wants to go
Good
compete in deadlifting, do you put an additional 50 pounds on it and kind of put a handicap together for them so they have to play inside of their muscular ability? If a woman wants to play professional football, that's the one they can't overcome.
Robert said it's
Correct.
red tees. I don't play
No,
golf, so I don't
whatever.
know. I don't know.
The question,
white
it becomes
tees.
really complicated.
Black-
But
black
here
I
we
thought
go.
he meant t-shirts, like wet t-shirts.
No.
I'm like,
That's
Eric,
where I
you
thought it
can't
was
talk
going.
sports
I'm like,
now.
what are you
Red
talking,
tees.
white t-shirt?
Red tees, white tees, black tees, whatever. Here's the deal. When in the hell can't we just put a trans league together? Here's the deal. There's not enough kids in some schools to play field hockey. There's no field hockey team.
why don't we
There's
just have
some-
men play on
hold
men's
on.
sports and women play on
I'm
women's sports?
fixing the problem. Let me give me 2 minutes. Men play men's sports. If you have an outie, you play on the outie team. Women play on women's sports. If you have an innie, you play on the innie team. If you have both, you play on the both team.
Nobody has both.
Okay. If you're transgendered,
Except for the
transgendered,
hermaphrodites.
first of all, there's a major problem with high school because we should not be talking transgender anything, right? In high school.
None at all.
That's a dead topic to me. I don't care. But 26-year-old, you're intercollegiate, you might be playing for Duke, and we put together a transgender league today on ESPN Sports. Transgendered volleyball takes on transgendered what? Okay, I might even watch it. I'll be like, damn, look at these girl guys freaking go nuts against each other. This is kind of fun to watch. I think if they want to have a league to play against each other, because that's competition. Since before Christ was born, you put them in a pit, one man, bam, go at it. There was never any gladiators, one man versus one woman. There would be an unfair competition.
There's so many good questions coming on here. Like Brenda said, first of all, is there even enough? And then I believe it was Robert said, okay, you can
The answer
have a
to that
trans
first question
league.
was no.
Right. No. And then if you have enough trans, you'd have to have 4, like a guy. I mean, how would you do that? Guys that were men in the women. How in the world do
You
put them
might
on
want
Oh
to
my
take a
God.
survey these
Think
days.
about that.
We can't
You
even
might wanna take a survey
delve into
these
that because
days.
that's never going to happen. We can't allow that to happen. There's male sports, there's female sports. End of story.
I think the high school's topic to me is I would have to leave the room because I have no
And in
interest.
high school,
I have no
it shouldn't even
interest.
be
I have
discussed.
no interest in hearing about the Parkway Central trans team. I don't care. Those are kids. To me, trans talk and homosexual talk and whatever is sexual conversation for parents to have.
Exactly.
It is not for
Bingo.
administrators to have.
Yes.
Now, once they get out of high school and they want to go to LSU and have these discussions, whatever.
I
I
agree.
can't. I don't know the answers to the questions, Vic, but I know that they might have a team of transgenders at LSU. They could play a team of transgenders at Auburn, maybe.
If you're in college and you're over 18, I don't care what people do.
Exactly.
It is your choice to do whatever you want to do, but not children.
But
Don't mess
guys
with the
versus
kids.
guys, girls versus girls, especially on contact type sports, there's not one. I'm sorry. It's just it's just nature.
It is nature.
It's just nature.
So there's a lot of cities that are dealing with this issue tomorrow night in the St. Louis area, St. Louis County, because we have a lot of St. Louis listeners, are going to be dealing with gender equity or gender reaffirming health issues. Like, I don't even know what it means.
Right.
You guys tell me.
I know.
What-
Why don't we go?
what
Why
all
don't we
does
go
it
to the
mean?
menu? Why not the menu, but the meeting? Why don't we go to the meeting?
I think, Eric, I
So-
think you should go to the meeting.
Yeah. I bet
Tabitha,
it-
you're much shorter than I. You can sneak in a little bit better.
I will tell you what gender affirming care means. Gender affirming care, as defined by the World Health Organization, our new bosses, encompasses a range of social, psychological, behavioral, and medical interventions designed to support and affirm an individual's gender identity when it conflicts with the gender they were assigned at birth.
And I'm not smart enough to take that one on. I'm sure that that's true. I am. And depression happens amongst all kinds of people, Vic. And if you think that you're a female and it's like, look, I can't wait until my 24th birthday or whatever, where I can actually go talk to a doctor with my driver. Here's my driver's license. Here's my passport. You affirms that I'm 24, 26 or 28 or whatever it is. I'm so looking forward to this conversation. And maybe there are lead up psychological conversations that they could have. We want to support people who are uncomfortable in their own skin. That is a mental thing. Okay. I do not want anybody to go to bed confused, but I also think
kids should be able to talk to counselors and they should be able to talk to parents, but
Yes.
the schools and the community should not be responsible for. And what the biggest issue here that we're not talking about with Washington University
Yes.
getting involved with the gender affirming care, and the biggest problem is that they were circumventing the parents. They weren't talking to the parents. They were lying to the parents. They were giving kids puberty blockers.
Yep.
And affirming them in their chosen gender without parental consent.
I'm hyper supportive
And that
right now
is
of a
the
guy
problem.
a guy that we're affiliated with, and he is becoming a she. And
wait a minute, but this is somebody that you know.
very well. He's been depressed probably since I've known him. He's going through the process now.
So you're saying it's a depression issue?
I think it's because he legitimately thinks he's a female.
How old is he?
Oh, he's in his late 20s.
Well, then I guess you
He's
can make
old enough
that
to know.
decision.
Oh, no
he
doubt.
can make his own
And
decision.
I got to be honest with you, I'm supporting him. I have no problem with him whatsoever. I think he looks rather.
So what
He's fine.
what does supporting mean?
It means that you live your own life because I'm an independent. I'm a libertarian. I don't feel like I'm a conservative. I feel like just stay out of my space. And I feel like we don't harm kids, but when we get to a certain age, we go along the path that's going to make us the happiest between now and the grave. That's how I feel.
That's my niece.
And if
is
what?
the same.
Let me tell you something. She is becoming happy. I'm watching his face.
But but that's okay, Eric, because she is an adult. I have
Bruce Jenner, whoever put that on the line, Caitlyn Jenner. That's a great example.
And also an adult.
An adult.
An adult. I have a niece. One of my nieces is born a female. Now identifies as a male, changed her name, and she's a teenager. And so and a very young teenager at that. And so she lives her life as a male. And it concerns me. And you have to, it's a tough line of choosing whether to support someone or not in this circumstance.
Can
but
you
I feel
imagine
like
this
teenagers,
world?
they don't know what's
Oh,
going
no.
on.
Again, we're just going to have to agree on this one. If you're a kid and you're,
It's
if
a
I'm an
confusing time for
adult, if I'm an
kids.
adult,
It's a confusing time for all
if
of
I'm
us.
an adult,
Yeah, I
if
don't
I'm an
get any of this.
if I'm an adult and I'm in charge of receiving the school buses if I'm the superintendent and my job is to take the little yellow school buses. When you get off the bus, we're going to learn reading, we're going to learn writing, arithmetic. You're going to go to art class. You're going to leave a much smarter person. No. We're not talking transgender.
My problem with him being an adult is I don't want to pay for it. Just like I don't want to pay for abortions.
It's elective.
If you want to go do it, but they're trying to get it all in their health insurance, which would mean my health insurance will eventually go up. And my feelings is I don't agree with either one of them. But I get what you're saying, Eric, that this is America, and I guess you can do what you want to, but do what you want to, but don't make me.
Well, we're literally
or
about
any of
to
us
talk
pay
to
for
a
this.
company that goes and does facials and cosmetic surgery of all kinds.
No, they don't do surgery.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying there's all kinds of companies out there that do all kinds of. There's no to me. It's not different if a woman wants to enhance herself, right, as a man that wants to deplete himself of his
if they're
his
if they're an adult. I know people of all different types. I know people who are transgendered. I know people who are just cross-dressers, people who are gay. I have no problem with any decision an adult makes.
Yeah.
It's only when it comes to children. Being a child is confusing enough. And when we have these gender-affirming programs like what's happening at WashU, the problem I have is that they're not communicating with the parents. They're lying to the parents. And like Lizzie said, your insurance should not have to pay for something that is
are you talking more like school or in life? Which one are we? Because
I'm talking about everything. When you're a teenager, everything is confusing.
Okay.
How can a 13-year-old know about their sexuality?
No doubt.
Some people don't figure that out till they're well into adulthood.
Right. Yep. I think it's
You've got it all summed up now?
Well, no, I don't think I've got it all summed up, but I do think there needs to be a law in the American books right now that says children are still children, and this is how we protect children. And if that means you have to go through a list of what they are not going to do before X age, drinking, guns, driving a car, transgendered sex, if you have to put that list together and make it public, because a lot of people don't know what that list is actually, then I think that it's time that we do
and
that.
I hope it stays states' rights. So here in Missouri, that can't be done. But if you want to have that done to a child, which, that just gives me the willies, you're going to have to go to another state. Because in Missouri, our legislators are going to fight hard that doesn't happen here. But other states like Illinois or California or New York, they might have to go there.
I think you need a federal law. I don't think you can drink before 21. Is that right? In all states? Is that
no? That's
not
different. It's different. But Robert reminds us the military already pays for trans stuff. So we've already talked about that in the
past. They didn't
too.
Under Trump, but they do under Biden.
And they do under Biden. And so, it gets back to what we're dealing with St. Louis County coming up tomorrow night. And the Biden administration now dealing with several groups saying, please stop this. There are more. I'm surprised, especially the female athletes are the ones who will win this battle. They're the ones who have to stand up. They have to not be afraid of peer pressure. They're the ones who need to go and stand up and say, listen to us. We're in the locker rooms. It was unfair when Leah dropped his trunks last year and his stuff or her stuff, and we were in the same locker room with it. Those are the women who are now starting to come out and talk about, hey, if a swimsuit's dropped and that person has stuff on their body that we don't,
dude,
it might not be fair.
And most gay people feel like we do, Vic.
I know.
I've talked to a lot of gay folks. Some of them listen to the show, and they feel just like we do.
The gay community is not for
They are not for this.
It was either Tabitha or myself that looked at Vic and said, man, there's going to be dudes who are really put together physically who might think that they're gay.
It was you, Eric.
Was it me?
Yes.
And I said, I said, there will be guys that will come into LSU, Auburn, North Carolina, Missouri, wherever, and say, I can beat these girls swimming. I'm a
Exactly.
transgender.
And why
now.
would they
I'm a
want to?
transgender.
I don't,
And
Eric,
they,
that's right.
oh,
this is
dude,
That
you're
has to
still
be a
saying it.
mental
You're still
illness.
saying no,
Yes.
it won't happen.
Because it's such a serious, you don't do it. Eric,
to get a
you
scholarship,
don't get a
Nick?
sex change to
To get
get
a
a
scholarship?
scholarship.
There has to be a
No.
psychological
No,
issue
Eric.
in their brain.
No.
if
You don't
that's
have
what
to
they
get
wanna
a
do.
sex change. You have to be on the regiment.
So are you gonna? Would you just because you want
Jeannie
to
said,
compete?
by the way, it might have been a small package
Maybe so.
that fell out.
I can't imagine you, Eric. Let's say
Small
you want to
package.
go to Mizzou and play football.
Yeah.
'Cause
There's
you
no
love
girl football.
Are you
by
going
the
to
way.
have your stuff cut off to go play football for girls?
You would never play football as a girl. Never.
Well,
No,
what if there
Eric,
were?
they're starting flag football leagues that could be coming into
What are you
college.
talking about?
That may, yeah,
you
and I
know
may-
something that I
you,
don't?
you and I may have to have a drink.
Girls
with
have
that
been
one.
able to play flag football with boys, but like only up until what, like third
Yeah,
or
they
fourth
did it at
grade,
the All-Star game.
Why
They
are
did
we
it at
even
the
talking
All-Star.
about this, for God's sakes?
right?
Well, because it started with the whole situation.
I know, but
with,
we've gone completely off the rails.
with
I
what
don't
with
know,
what
man. This is
not
kind
when
of
it comes
what
to the gender.
this is
idea.
what a conversation at Starbucks with your buddies
Oh,
would
man.
sound like.
And
That's
not
for-
my
sure.
conversations.
Well, yours would be very militant. That's for sure.
If I was with my friends, it would be totally different.
It
'cause
would be dark and nasty at Tabitha's table.
No,
Well, we're gonna.
my conversations is limited
There's
to
a dark
innies and
cloud
outies.
that
Go
follows
to the
Tabitha
bathroom where you
around.
belong.
It would be you'd need Prozac over at her table. That's for sure.
Yeah, but when you go out
Hey,
with
now.
Tabitha, that's why she likes to have a good time.
I
too,
know with
though.
gag balls. Never mind.
I have fun when I go out, and
All right.
believe it or not, I'm not judgmental at all.
Hey,
if you have an innie, go to the innie bathroom. If you have an outie, go to the outie bathroom. It's pretty darn simple.
Well, we're gonna learn a little bit more about that. Eric, we got a lighter topic now. We're gonna check in with Tosha Dove. She is the owner of Estetica Medspa, and I'm told that she sounds great. Hey, and I full disclosure, I go to Tasha. I've gone to Tasha a few times, Eric, and you said you didn't understand or get why a guy would get any work done on his face. Well, I've done Botox with Tasha.
Okay.
All right. So I admit it. You can still be a manly man
Yeah. I keep thinking John Wayne
and age gracefully
yeah,
and get some stuff. I had a line right here that always made me look like I was angry.
the 11s, right? You know what it's
I
called.
think that's, I don't know. Tasha's going to tell
I've
me
got
in a
some
second.
bad 11s. Tasha
So
and I
I
that
need
was
get
to
it.
so nonchalant.
And Tasha has helped me,
yeah.
look younger, age
And
more
you look so
gracefully.
good.
Well, thank you.
Whatever
Eric.
you're doing, you look good.
Biden
Thank you,
needs some of
Eric.
that in his forehead.
Maybe we'll show
sure.
some pictures.
Yeah.
But Tasha's taking care of me. I think she's the best by far. She's going to tell us more about what she does. Hey, Tasha, good morning. Thank you for joining Cancel This morning. First of all, tell us about yourself and where you're located.
Yeah, absolutely. Good morning. Thank you for having me. So we are currently live at Estetica Medspa. We're located at 2315 Technology Drive, and we've been at this location for almost 5 years and in business for over 10. We do a lot of anti-aging for women and obviously for men as he's 21. But we do anti-aging, Botox, filler, renewal, and we have a medical grade skincare line here at Estetica.
I want to go.
I use the skincare line, by the way.
I want to go.
It's amazing. I knew you were going to
I
want
wanna
to go.
go
You're like, who
immediately.
would want men's stuff?
Yeah.
Well, we're going to show men and the men's stuff in just a second. Tasha has a lot of well-known clients as well. I know that because I've been told by them and others that they go there, but we can't talk to Tasha about it. But it is interesting because you're basically, you guys are packed all the time, but you still find room for people and you can talk to people online, right?
That's right. We can actually do virtual consultation. Majority of our clients are coming locally. We do have people drive in, and if they move out of state and back here, we are rated top 3% in the nation for the people who make Allergan. So we do a lot of injectables, and we are very treatment plans. I think that there's been a bit of a population of people that want to look younger, and it's not just for women. And I think that coming here, we make you feel comfortable so that you don't have to be ashamed to. And I think that's the biggest thing, that it's not a vanity thing. It's just you have to look good, and you have to take care of yourself.
I'm ready. Can I just show up with like a long list
You're not
of
a guy.
things I
You're
want
not
to
a
have
guy.
done?
She only does guy.
She does not only use guys. I'm serious. I have an entire list. How many procedures can you do in one day?
Oh my God.
No, I'm serious because a lot of people would like to. Sometimes you can't have
Tab, you're beautiful.
your lips, and I know you can have lips and Botox done at the same time, but sometimes you have to space things out.
Oh, I didn't know that. Can't do it all in one day?
I don't know. That's what I'm asking.
Okay.
Eric.
Can you do every procedure in one day? If you're like, I just got to get all this over with right now, Thursday's my day, Botox, filler, the whole 9 yards. Can you do it all in one day?
You can absolutely get a hydrofacial or facial first. So you'd see an esthetician, and then you would see one of my nurse practitioners or myself. Get the injectable, any lasers or anything that day, but you could absolutely do that.
Oh,
and people love to come in, and so Thursdays are actually a very busy day for us because people want to be bruised over the weekend and take.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Well, Tasha, Eric, I'm going to walk him in sometime. Do you have, or is there any way, can you show us anything?
Absolutely.
Oh, they would need an overhaul.
I have my assistant is holding the camera right now, so she can kind of show you around a little bit. But this is the lobby, and we actually have someone here waiting. Kyle.
I love him already. He's willing. We love Kyle.
So he's here.
Do you have him on is he on a pad of paper called Victim 1 for the day? Is that what he is?
Chances are his wife made him come here. Is that? Yeah. That's typically how it happens.
I love it.
So he's here waiting, and if okay with it, we can walk you down the hallway, kind of show you the space, and I can inject him quickly, and you can say,
yes, let's go for it. Yes, as you're walking down the hallway, setting up. Okay, Eric, I've done it.
Go, Kyle.
I've done this.
It's a quick walk too. Look at that. It's like we're getting down to business.
No, it is. It's a beautiful.
I love it
too.
Man, that is a nice venue over there.
It is a nice. See, Eric, you'll walk. That would be you, Eric. You could be walking in
with fear on my face
to get some. Because you've never seen anything like that. You've never done one.
No.
Tabitha and Lizzie say they've never had any work done.
Yeah.
I say that I have, and now we have Kyle. So Kyle, hey Kyle, if you can hear us, we love you, brother. That's pretty cool, man. Kyle's ready to take some needles live on Cancel This, which is really cool.
I love it. What do you think you need done, Kyle?
So that's a good question. When guys come in, there's a difference. Is this? The woman says, when I smile, don't you see all those lines around my eyes? And the men are, right? They don't see what we see. Oh. So typically when they come around their eyes, usually, we can inject them in their glabellas. But, when guys, he smiles a lot, right? He's a happy person. So a little bit of Botox here around the crow's feet, and then that's going to relax the muscle that he's going to get retreated about every 3 months. Okay.
Nice.
And once again, this isn't for everybody.
So this
but
isn't
for some
Kyle?
people, it is.
This isn't for Kyle. This is for his wife.
Right. This is a present to
Kyle
his
don't
wife.
give a damn. He's like, man, I look fine. And the wife is like, about
you already know Kyle and his wife have a great relationship because he wouldn't be sitting there. Look at that. That is amazing that he's doing that.
Yeah.
So she is getting ready, I guess, just to make sure that everything's going to be fine as he's getting some Botox.
If it was my girlfriend, there'd be like a sew your lip shut procedure.
Hey, Tasha, has Kyle had any work before?
So this is actually
his first time. Wow.
This is
Live
his
on
first
camera.
time.
It hurts really bad, by the way.
Don't
Kyle.
cry, Kyle. Don't cry on air.
I'm nervous right now. Isn't this like a TV show that's on Discovery Channel or something?
Yeah, people do watch this on TV.
Yeah, because it's inspiring. It is inspiring when you see
feel
one
like we
person
should-
do it.
I feel like we should be quiet, but we shouldn't.
No,
it doesn't
hell no.
matter. I feel like, oh man, should we be quiet?
He's like, no, man, bring the heat.
This is very, we are just wiping him with a little bit of Purisan here. I'm going to have him smile for me. And then basically on this muscle that causes the wrinkle. Can you guys see?
Oh, there goes the needle.
There it goes.
Dude, I love Kyle. This is awesome.
Why? Because you're
Kevin
jealous?
says there's no
He's still
crying in Botox.
smiling.
I'm
And
jealous.
he's still smiling.
There's no crying in Botox.
We're
That is a
talking-
bumper sticker.
I
Tasha
need
Dove,
Botox.
owner of Estetica Medspa, is behind the scenes showing us what it's like for a man to get some Botox to help age gracefully. And then you can actually see some of those needles going in to the crow's feet.
I need to get my upper lips
Yeah.
fixed. Does that make sense?
Your upper lips?
I've drank out of a straw way too long.
So that makes your upper lips what?
What?
Puffy?
What
I've
does
never
that
smoked
mean?
a day in my life, but I've like
Well,
lines
Do you like
above my upper
straws?
lip.
I like straws
How,
too.
Vic, is there a way we can invest in Tabitha? Seriously. Can we
Invest in her house.
in her face?
No,
What?
just don't make me look like Madonna.
Can we invest in Tabitha's
Kyle is a
face?
champ, by the way, Tasha.
Kyle's
He
killing
is
it.
doing fantastic.
Kyle is killing it.
I love that.
He's crying inside is what he said. No, I'm kidding.
No,
And as we said, it's Estetica
it looks
Medspa.
painless.
Hey, Tasha, as you're injecting, we're not worried about Kyle. We're worried about learning more about what you guys got going on. For people outside of the St. Louis area, can they still contact you? Because I know that you guys did some videos that went viral in regards to educating people all around the country. Nice job, Kyle.
Yeah,
Is he done?
He's still smiling.
Wait a
Look
minute.
at
Is he
him.
done? Is he done?
He's all done. He's all done.
Kyle,
Yeah.
I gotta hear it from
Nobody
you,
can
babe.
tell.
I gotta hear it
No
from
one
you, babe. What was it
Can tell
like?
that he.
Oh, didn't feel that at all.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, bee sting feels worse than what.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, these things are much worse.
3.
3? Okay.
I love it.
2 of them.
Do you feel sexier? Do you feel like you're gonna get some tonight?
Eric, this is a family show.
Leave it to Eric.
When did we become a family show?
Yeah, whatever.
Yourself.
Family show.
That's the deal, though. She brings you in here. You have to get this done, and then
Yeah.
you should get something done.
That's fine.
And that's what it's all about, Tab. Why are you trying to stifle me? I'm serious. When you go to these places, you want to feel sexier, you want to be more confident, right? I know
Of
there's a lot of
course.
stuff I want to do, but
No
I'm
question.
too
You
scared.
you would feel much more confident, I would think.
Yeah.
Tabitha, you.
I
were
look like
talking-
I've been sucking on a lemon a long time, so I
Oh my
would
God.
feel a lot better if I had something done with my
Tabitha
lips.
said that. None of the men in the studio said that. She said.
Yeah.
A lemon. I said a lemon.
So what would Tabitha do, Tasha, if she?
So I might
needed
need to take the camera now so I can turn it. Because that's what I was just thinking. I would love to see you so I could assess you, if you will.
I'm gonna hide. Don't look at me.
All right.
Okay,
Could hide.
Well, what we'll do? Well, at that time when you figure we've got to get, we'll get a close up of Tabitha in just a little bit.
Why don't we just send her over there? Why don't
Yeah.
we just send
And
her over
Tasha,
there?
a lot of women, and I'm sure you hear this all the time. A lot of women have a problem like I do, where we're getting older and we have our upper lip has lines.
MP,
Thank you, guys.
is there any way to take Tabitha on a close up shot?
Oh yeah, Kim. Yeah.
Okay.
Here we go.
Now,
There we go.
Tasha, if you could talk, Tabitha's always ripping her lips, and I
Yeah,
think,
what's wrong with her lips?
and I think her lips
Well,
look good.
I'll explain it to Tasha. And
Okay,
I'm
okay.
sure Tasha hears this from women all the time. Tasha, as we get a little bit older, we get this problem where our lips kind of turn down and sag a little bit, and we start getting these lines above. I've never smoked. I joked around about them about sucking on a lemon. I think it's just
I
a
just wanna keep
genetic.
hearing
We
her
thing.
say
believed
that.
She
you.
says it's so straight.
We believed you.
You did.
But I think this is a common problem amongst women. All my friends complain about it, and I know that's something you can fix.
Absolutely. So when you have the DAO, it basically turns your mouth down a little bit. Makes
Yes.
us look like we're sad, right? Like this.
Mm.
So what you've never had filler and you're nervous about filler, then typically I can inject just a little bit of Botox in, and that will actually turn the muscle up to make it look like you have more support. Very fixed, and that takes about 5 minutes, like you saw with Kyle. The more longer fix that you would do would be something like filler. So dermal fillers are made of hyaluronic. They are injected into the mid or deep dermis underneath the skin. So basic structure in your face so that your face doesn't fall. And I can guarantee anyone on, TV or celebrities, things like that, and they look, it is because we've replaced that volume loss with fillers.
Yeah.
So that's a very good solution. So, not everybody wants to go under the knife necessarily. People want to get things done and they want to feel refreshed. And that's
Can I ask
kind
you
of
a
what
question? I
I
know
think
that
it's fantastic.
I'd love to have a question because I've always wanted to get someone on that knows what they're talking about. Madonna, she went way too far, didn't she? And would you sit someone down in your office and say, I'm not doing that?
You know what? Absolutely. And that's a deal. That's my work. I am an artist, right? So I would not sound looking deformed or, kind of like a cartoon character. We have seen that a lot in St. Louis, unfortunately, with the lips when we first got started, just putting filler wherever we thought it should go. And now we are really studying the natural, and we're making changes based on your natural appearance. And that's really how it should be. And of Kim Kardashian and tell me that you want her, amongst other things.
Yeah. You know what? Tasha, we're Tabitha's convinced there's a couple Joe Bidens. There's not just one Joe Biden.
This is good.
MP.
This is good.
MP, did you see the Biden pics that we sent in? Okay.
I
She
think
didn't
so.
see them. So
I think of it.
if we can find the Biden pics, we'll pop them up for you. I was just trying to see if we had those to let you take a look at the kind of work that he might have been doing. But in the meantime, while we try to find that stuff out, and like I said, can you talk about what you did maybe to me, if you remember that? Because
Absolutely.
it's been a while, but everything's been great.
Had Botox in all three areas of the face. Okay. So he's done his crow's feet, talus, which is his forehead muscle. I have also injected Botox right here on Vic, the frown lines that men experience. And that actually lifts the brow just a little bit. Brow, because he's not a woman. So we do inject the men and the women very, very differently based on the masculine. And he is also, I'm very proud of you, by the way, Vic. He in Caroline. So he does about 3 or 4 steps in the morning and 5 or 6. And for a man to commit to something like that, it really causes for a celebration. Because men just want to be one and done. Like they want to come in, they want to get it done, follow-up appointments.
Nothing good is easy. Nothing good is easy. Hey, Tasha.
It does take.
And I'm grateful. So far, so good. And it's not, you don't go crazy. That's why I said a little bit moderation.
Yes.
Everything in life, moderation.
And that's why I brought up the lips. And so many of the women have commented on the comment line that they're experiencing the same thing. If for me, if I were to come in, or some of the ladies on the comment line want to come in, you can go in, let's say on a Friday, have your lips injected with the filler, get your little Botox in the corners.
Yes.
And by Monday morning, you're going to look like a new person.
I say we invest in Tabitha, Vic. I'm not playing. And Lizzie, what do you think? You think we should invest?
Absolutely.
But with the caveat, here's the caveat.
Tasha, we're going to need a discount.
Here's the caveat.
Here's the caveat.
Here's the caveat. Before and after.
Oh, absolutely.
I'm serious. I'm not playing with you, and I'm doing this for myself. I want to know, because I never see people on the before. I think Vic looks amazing. I mean, me and Vic are like a before and after picture. This is before, that's after.
Vic,
I would love.
Thank you. You guys are so sweet.
I would love to see Tabitha before and after, because I think you know what you want in your face. I just don't know what you're talking about. You look fine to me.
Well, I think a lot of us women, like I just said, and I see people on the comment line saying it, is that we get to this point, and it's an age thing, where our lips start turning down on the sides and we look like we're frowning
before
all the
and after
time.
I think before and after pictures of Tabitha would be a great help to marketing her business, just for me, because I don't know what the differences are.
I think we need some of our female listeners out there to go and visit Tasha and send us their before and after photos.
Well, that's fine, but people know
maybe we'll give them a little cancel this cup.
People see you every day. I say we take a
we'll
vote
talk
on
about that.
We'll figure it out. Hey, Tasha, before we let you go today, can you take a look at some of these Biden pictures that we have?
Here we go.
And tell us what's going on? Yeah. Okay. Tabitha says this is the real Joe Biden. right, Tabitha?
Yes, because look at the nose. He has the crook on his
Yes.
nose and no forehead
Oh,
lines.
Look at the NC dots that he has. The brown spots that are all over his forehead, on the side of
Okay.
his face, crease in
Right.
between his eyebrows, right? The lower
Okay.
face,
Okay.
he's got jowling down
Yeah.
by his chin where it's hanging.
Okay.
So this is the real Joe Biden.
Is it?
All right, we're going to show you some other pictures.
All right.
Or at least Tasha. Okay, what's going on here, Tasha?
Is that the same
Is that
guy?
the same person,
The
Tasha?
crook is no longer on the nose.
He had some Botox in between his brows right there. See, that line is gone. And do you see how his forehead is going only on the sides above the eyebrows?
Correct.
That is that's for injectables there, because you want to smooth that out a little bit more, and it's wrinkled on the side. So what's happening is that muscle on the frontalis on the side was possibly, and that would need to be fixed.
Is that the same person?
Leah, do you have the other photo where his forehead's all
Let me see.
squished together? No,
that's not the same.
That's the real Joe
That's the real
Biden.
That
again.
one was the real Joe Biden.
Yeah.
I
So
don't
those
know that
three
either one of
pictures.
these two are.
We have the two real Joe Bidens, as Tasha or as Tabitha says, and then the one where he looks like.
and she might not have the other photo with the scrunched up forehead.
Do you think do you think there's two Joe Bidens, in other words?
Tasha does not want to answer that question.
Vic, people on the chat room think you have a great
Oh,
complexion.
boy.
Oh, well, thank you. That's because of Tasha's product line. If it is, that's all.
Shiny and tan,
Yeah, well, that
smooth
Yes.
like a baby's butt.
what the hell?
Like a baby's butt.
Vic is like, oh, stop it. Go on.
Hey,
You can pat his face.
hey,
Tabitha.
Tasha. If we send Tabitha over there,
Please.
you could help her out, right? Because she thinks
There
she
might
needs
be
all
no
this
help
work. We don't
this
think she
face.
needs anything. She says she does.
I would love to do that. We could absolutely take before and afters. We do a very big, thorough, always take pictures, because we want you to see your before and after, so you don't forget what you looked like in the beginning.
Can you make her 12 inches taller?
Wouldn't that be wonderful?
I can give her those.
Yeah. Can you give Eric some inches as well?
Da-dum.
Thank you, Eric. There you go. Tasha, Estetica Medspa in Lake St. Louis. You rock. Thank you for doing this. Thank you for partnering with Cancel This as well. We appreciate you. You're a great host. I'm glad for the most part it worked out, because we're always trying to do something new when it comes to a technology standpoint, especially for a podcast. And you rocked it, you and your staff.
What's the next procedure we're going to see? I'm already kind of
And
looking forward
Tasha's
to
so
it.
beautiful. You can look at her and she looks absolutely amazing.
No, she's stunning. But what's the next procedure you think we'll see over there?
Thank you very much. No, this has been great, guys. This is awesome and fun, and I'd love to help the viewers. There's nothing wrong with aging backwards.
That's right.
All right. Tasha Dove.
Yeah, that's right.
Estetica Medspa in Lake St. Louis. Look him up. You can also go to our website at cancelthisshow.com, where we have a link where you can do that. And Tasha, what's the best way for people to contact you guys as well?
You can go to www.eamedSpa. You can find us on Facebook through Estetica, Estetica as well. And you can also text 314-379 for an immediate appointment.
Nice.
We love it. Tasha.
Jim Edmonds is one of those guys, isn't it? I know it is.
No.
It is.
Don't be asking her to reveal her client
I'm
list.
going to figure it out. I'm going to figure all this stuff out.
I'm not allowed to do
that old HIPAA deal. Well, your facility looks amazing.
Gary Younger.
We'll have to have you on again to talk about being a female business owner and how you started with absolutely nothing, and now you have one of the most successful med spas in America.
Yadier?
Thank you so much.
All right, Tasha. Thanks again,
would love-
Tasha Dove. We'll catch up with you later.
Thank you so
Okay.
much.
Have a great day, guys.
You too.
Have a good day.
I loved
if
how
you're in
you could see the
broadcasting-
studio. Or not the studio, the spa. And that was awesome.
it's cool.
I
It's
loved
right
it.
around the corner from my house. I could practically walk there, and it is a beautiful building.
Yeah, you got to go to
It's in a great area.
Just see, you're not even to do anything. Just to
Will you hold my hand?
No,
I
because
want a facial.
no,
I want somebody
because
to rub on my face.
because
No.
sometimes the consultation's better than the procedure.
Well-
Sometimes if they go, you're fine.
I didn't bring it up so you guys would send me there. I brought it up because it is such a common problem with women. You know, I know obviously a lot of women my age who are dealing with the same thing. And I think if they went and visited Tasha, I mean, seriously, within one day you could turn that around. And none of us females want to be out walking around looking frowny. We just don't. And it does. It pulls your.
It's like that grumpy cat.
It is.
I hate the grumpy cat.
Or
I
I've heard
hate
women call it RBF.
women
Exactly.
with women with
Yeah.
I
grumpy
couldn't
cat.
remember the term.
Ugh.
Yes.
You don't know what RBF is, Eric, do you?
Resting blood.
Yes.
Yeah, I didn't get it.
And no one wants that. And you know what? It's so easy to turn that around literally in one day
Yeah.
by going to visit
In
Tasha.
one day, you got to be careful
One
though.
day. You can
I'm
turn
gonna
that
bring-
around in one day.
I'm going to bring a picture of someone I know that went overboard with that stuff too, and I'm going to.
Well, you have to be because it can be addictive.
And Tasha, is a professional. She would it would be her duty to tell someone, hey, are you sure you want to do this? But ultimately, if somebody wants to do it, and I've heard of some estheticians who refuse to do it. If they think it's too much, they won't
How
do
does
it.
a multi-billionaire Madonna get a face like that? How in the
That's-
world does a multi-billionaire go into?
Because she asked for it.
She
And it's
did.
not just Madonna. Look at all the others. Who was that? Who was that really hot guy that was in 9.5 weeks? He was beautiful.
No idea.
Do you know who that is?
No idea.
Lizzie?
I don't
The guy
know.
in
No.
9.5 weeks?
Mm-mm.
Oh my gosh. I can't think of his name right
No.
now.
Right.
I know.
And he looks like Wildenstein now.
But there's something.
And it's a
but
shame.
here's one thing I would say
He
about
was
guys.
so pretty.
Sean Connery can be
Mhm.
until his death. Women wanted him
Yes.
all over the world.
Yeah.
Correct.
Very
I would
handsome
say
man.
Bronson. People wanted him. There's a masculine. There's something about older masculine.
Be a
men.
man,
Yeah.
age gracefully. There's a way to
John
do
Wayne.
It. Just be a
John
man.
Wayne.
Mickey
Be a man.
Rourke.
Right.
Mickey.
That's who I was
Mick-
thinking of.
Mickey's
Right.
different.
Mickey
Mickey's
Rourke was
different.
And
beautiful.
Kenny Rogers.
Kenny Rogers completely changed his look.
Yeah.
You never
And not a
knew that
happy
was
way.
him,
Yeah.
for sure.
All of a sudden, he had eyes. He had little squinty eyes, but they looked
Yeah.
good on him.
Hey, Tabitha, would you do, like, if you decide to do this, there's people on the chat line that would like that video as part of the show or in addition to the show. Would you
We'll
be willing to
contact-
be on it?
Have
We'll
you ever
con-
seen that?
We'll contact Tasha after the show. We'll get you into
Have
it.
you
That'd be
guys seen the little Facebook thing that goes around where they show this lady with the 2 hot dogs for lips, like pushing
Yes.
them together? That's what I want my lips to look like.
No, you
What?
don't.
No, you don't.
You just put that in the universe now, Tabitha. Good job. Good job, Tab's going to come back looking like 2 hot dogs on her face tomorrow.
Guys, we appreciate everybody joining
a
us
lemon.
today for Cancel This.
Sucking a lemon. 2
Sucking a
hot
lemon.
dogs, sucking a lemon.
Oh my
Somebody
God.
put that together for me, please.
The chat line is great. Jean-Claude, these are all the people who've messed up. Jean-Claude Van Damme,
Oh,
Burt
yeah.
Reynolds did, Meg Ryan,
Yes.
Mickey
Yes.
Rourke. My gosh, Kenny
Yes.
Rogers. They were all popping
Not
in there.
Denzel.
Moderation
Not
is
Denzel.
key.
Look at little Kim.
Tom Cruise didn't screw up his face. Look at he's an older guy.
He's recently done some things.
Really? I
I'm not
didn't
going
know
to say
that.
he screwed up his face, but he's done some things.
Okay.
All right. Well, we appreciate you guys
Locklear.
joining us.
We're
for
on Vic
Cancel.
Faust watch. We don't want him to screw up his face
No.
either.
Look at that nice, shiny, smooth. skin.
CancelThisShow.com. Once again, CancelThisShow.com. Thanks again for MP, Lizzie in studio. Are you back tomorrow? Is it tomorrow? Then
I
you're
am
not-
back tomorrow.
And then
Yes.
you have
and then I
another
go out
volleyball
of town
tournament.
Thursday, Friday, Monday,
Where's the
and
volleyball
Tuesday.
tournament at?
Orlando, Florida.
Oh, how
But I
nice.
will
Orlando,
be-
St. Louis.
I'll still be
Come
on the
on.
chat line. You just won't see
Come
my
on.
face.
Tell
But-
that organization to pull the plug out of St. Louis, and I will support them 100%.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'll let them know.
And you said that we posted the link to help out Janae Edmondson.
Yes, a nice man named David Sparks posted the link. I will then put the link on the actual group chat later on. But you can also just go to the GoFundMe, and it's right there, and you type in her
And of course,
name.
Janae, the 16-year-old girl from Tennessee who's in St. Louis over the weekend who lost her legs because a guy who should have been in prison was out driving without a license, speeding, broke GPS monitoring 40 times, hit another car that hit her, and she lost her legs. There is a GoFundMe for her, and of course, Cancel This will be supporting her as well. Guys, thanks for joining us so far today. We'll join you again tomorrow. Kathy Helbig-Strick in studio. For MP, Lizzie Sparks, Eric Johnson, and Tabitha Hassel, thinking about those new lips.
This is pre-plump lip.
I
Your
can't.
lips.
Pre.
I'm not going to do it. And Vic Faust, I'm sorry. We're going to get out of here.
Have a good day, everyone.
Let's not talk about my lips right now.
All right. Have a great day.